Hello, everyone. Welcome to DAT 205, which is the 2D animation course, formerly known as Multimedia Authoring 2, and it may still be known as that on some paperwork, um, such as bureaucracy. I wanted to give you guys a lay of the land in terms of how we're going to be using Blackboard and what the heck HiFlex means. I'm sure some of you have already taken these classes, but it's still, how it relates to DAT classes, how it relates to an advanced DAT class like this. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. Um, we will be using Blackboard extensively for this class. You're going to find your syllabus, your materials for assignments, your grades, our remote classroom are all up here. The syllabus is now up here. Wait, you can click on it over there. And it lists my email. Please, please, please write this down, put it in your email. Want to make sure you guys can get in touch with me. Um, oh shoot, I forgot to get rid of this. I'll get rid of this in the new version. There is no book for this class, so please do not. If you get this, it can be helpful, but there is no required book for this class, so please do not feel obligated to purchase this book. Um, Other important things in the syllabus, we'll get to more of it later, but I want to bring up our sort of course outline. This is a good way to know how things are going in this class and generally speaking what the timing is going to be. Please do not turn to this for due dates. I say, oh, we got 2 weeks for this and 1 week for this, but things can happen, the class can change. So this is just to give you the lay of the land. Right now, it's not all of your due dates. All right. So next up, because this is HiFlex, this is a class that you can take either virtually or live in the classroom. Our classroom, by the way, is DAT 303. Basically, it's a computer lab. If you take this from home, you need to have Adobe Animate. As far as I know, there's no free access to that. So you are responsible for getting access to Adobe Animate, installing it on your computer properly. You can contact IT if you have issues. You can contact me if you have issues, but it is your responsibility to get this installed, and you need it by Tuesday because we will be using this software on day one. If you are logging into class remotely, Collaborate Ultra is what we will be using. Give it a second to load. So these are our classes. I have the class time starting 15 minutes early so that people can, it can exist. People can get in there. So that we can start promptly at 2. There is also one technically listed for the day we have no class because I can't do repeating but like skip a day. So we do not have class the 15th. That is spring break. We will be using this for all of our class and lectures, obviously. The way class will go usually is that the beginning of class will be introduction of information, timeline basics, how to go over that, get people worked through that, answer questions, and then the next part of class would be a walkthrough to get you started on your homework, right? So it's going to be kind of part 1 and part 2 of class in one big long class that's 2.5 hours. So we want to make sure that when you go home, and do your homework, that you've already gotten kind of started, so that you can kind of have a foothold on things. You will have to do homework outside of class, whether you will take the class at the school or at home. Your 2.5 hours in class are not going to be sufficient to do these assignments. This is a 200 level class. It's advanced. There's a lot expected of you in such a class, so be prepared to spend time outside of class getting things done. The assignments and materials are under assignments and materials. There's a few of them up right now. Please do not necessarily download anything right this second. I may need to update these things. But you'll see things like demonstration materials week 1, right? So we've got some files. Quite often at the beginning of this semester, I will be providing you with FLA files. Those are animate files. We'll go over why FLA stands for animate in class. But that's so we can all have a starting point, right? Because you're just getting introduced to the software, so I want to give everyone the same file. We do the same things. And then there's 2 assignments the first week. They're very small assignments. But I'll have instructions for all assignments. If we start something in class, I will say, we did this part in class, do the rest at home. Please read the when we get to this part in class, do read the instructions. I go over them as well verbally, but they're written there for a reason. And of course, any one that you click on, it should have the due date listed right here, points possible. You can see it's a small number of points because there's 2 of them this week, and we're just getting started. We submit through Blackboard. You can write comments if you need to. Please do if you have a specific question so I can address them in my feedback. Your grades and such will be under my grades. And I need to add participation. So every time you submit something, you'll see a little yellow exclamation point. That means I have it, but I just haven't graded it yet. Usually I get them graded by the next class. So if stuff is due week 2, I'll get it graded by week 3. I will also almost always have feedback. For your assignments. So please either, click and read it or watch it if it's visual feedback, but please make sure to keep track of that. Another thing that will be listed, it is not yet, is participation. The amount that it's worth for the participation will actually go up as the semester goes on. So we have one class in January, so it'll be worth 5 for January. Once we're through March, it'll be however much, times March, or I'm sorry, February. Let's not skip a month. As we go through the semester, it's worth more and more points because I want you to keep track of how much your participation is counting towards your grade. So I don't want you to be surprised at the end if you miss a lot of classes and your grade goes down. Likewise, if participation is helping your grade, we want to know that as well. Let's see. So if we look at I forget where it is in here, but if we look at the syllabus, it's listed in here somewhere, but when it comes to class time, being in class is very important. I know it's tempting because everything is recorded for Collaborate Ultra, but like if you're not present in class, you're not able to ask questions. You're not able to answer questions for fellow students. There's a lot of give and take that you really don't get taken in if you're not present. So you can miss up to one class. Let's see here. There we go. So the written version of this is here, but basically you can miss up to one class for my class, and you won't you won't lose any points. However, after that, you will start to lose points. Also, they have some new rules about cancellations for weather. Oftentimes now they may just say the class still goes on, but it goes on remotely. If that happens, I will reach out to everyone who usually is in class and check in with them and, see what they might need to get their work done if they have computers at home and such. To that end, to prepare for our online classes, a couple of things. Number one, please email me whether you will generally be attending from the school or from home. We need to know how many people to expect at the school so that whether you show or don't, we know where we're going to see you. You can change that throughout the semester. If you want to attend classes in person, but you have a day where you can't, then that's fine. Take advantage of the remote learning for that one day. But please let me know at least what you generally intend to do going forward so that we can prepare for that. Excuse me, what was the other? Why? Lost track. Oh well. Oh yes. And if there's any weather delays, I will also post on the announcements. I will email you guys. Most of the major announcements will also go automatically to your email. So whether you tell yourself to, check into Blackboard once every couple of days, or you're just checking your school email, you really need to be connected to us because just of how much back and forth there is, how much things change. In this present time, we need open lines of communication. So make sure you are checking this page once a day or checking your email where these things will be sent to. Please, please, please. Other things from the syllabus that I would like to go over generally with everyone. If you are a student with who needs academic adjustments, you must send me your paperwork. If you don't have it yet, you must contact Terry Latella at this phone number and get that set up. I also wildly encourage you when you are getting your academic adjustments to recognize that in this class there are no tests. Therefore, the checkboxes for longer time for taking tests, quiet area for taking tests is not really relevant to this class. This is a highly technical class that also requires, artistic and aesthetic points. So consider that when you're speaking with her about what adjustments you might need. Make sure to advocate for yourself. But I cannot make any adjustments until I get the paperwork, and that includes even if you get it late in the semester. That's only when they can start. So please make sure you get that together if you need that and send it over to me. let me see here. Is there anything else? Now you guys have seen all these pieces before. Oh, also, if you are having any issues with this class in terms of like Adobe Anime or like specific terms, email me, email me, email me. I'm available generally during regular business hours, except when I'm in class, obviously. Our class is Tuesdays, 2 to 4:30. I do have more than an hour long commute. So if you email me at 1:15 on a Tuesday, I will not be able to get back to you. I do also have class Monday in mid-afternoon. So that's my other class. So if you email me then, it would take me a little bit to get back to you. If you email me on a Saturday, it will take me a little while to get back to you. But generally, middle of the week, I can get back to you pretty quickly. Um, but if you have like a general like issue with computers, if you're struggling with general computing things, you should really contact the ACE Center. So this is again a 200 level digital arts technology course. The understanding being that you would, you know, already know your way around a computer and how to save files and things like that. So if that is a struggle, please contact ACE now and get trained with get set up with tutors now, so that you can get ahead of that, because you will need to know how to navigate saving files, moving files, linking files, importing, etc. There's again, it's a more advanced class, so you want to make sure that you're getting ahead on those things. One last thing that I'll say on this video, in terms of grades and keeping up with things, these things are sequential for a reason. They work in series. So what we learn in week 2 gets built on in week 3, gets built on in week 4. If you do not hand in an assignment for week 2 until week 12, there's a few things that happen. Number one, if you didn't do it ahead of time, well, then you didn't learn anything from the assignment to help you with the later ones. And that can show in your work, that the foundational things were missing. Two, if I don't see how you're doing in week 2, I don't know how you're doing. I can't help you with anything. So even if you're struggling, even if you're like, oh, I really didn't like how this assignment turned out, if you don't hand it in to me, I am no use to you. So hand in your work. Number 3, let's say you do half of it and then stop and then do the rest of it later, but you do it like much later in the semester. Well, now you have 8 further weeks of practice and tools at your disposal. Of course, your assignment's going to look great. So you're not going to get that many points, because I don't know that you did most of it earlier. Like for all I know, you just did it, yesterday, and you're handing it in now, and it's so you're not going to get very many points. It is in your best interest, even if you don't think you did well on an assignment, to hand it in on time, even if it's half done. You don't get full points, but you'll get more points potentially, and you'll get more help from me, and you'll stay more on track than if you wait. Waiting to hand in work because, oh, I gotta fix things, or you're particular about things, is a bad habit for these advanced stat classes. So I cannot encourage you enough to hand your things in on time, even if you don't like if they're not up to your usually high standards. Hand it in. You don't want to get behind. You can see these assignments. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks in a row where there is like an assignment every week due, and then it goes right into your midterm. And that's because we have a lot we have to learn before we can do anything in this class. Um, so please, please, please stay on top of things. If you're having any trouble, again, email me. My email is right here. If you're having trouble with DAT overall, with the larger picture of your classes, these phone numbers are for Professor Ray. So please contact him and see about getting some advising. But again, stay on top of things. All right, so to review, announcements page, very important. Make sure you are checking your email or stopping by this page once a day. Collaborate Ultra, that is where we will be having our remote classes. It's also where remote classes are saved. Syllabus gives you a general outline of things. Assignments and materials is where you find all your assignments, where you submit things, where you find all the information about what is expected. My grades is where you will get your feedback on things. And I will also post this to here, but there is no book required for this class. The book mentioned is nice, it's fine, but it is not required for this class. So thank you so much, and I will see you all next week.